Greetings, Love Posse. It's challenging for us to accept what is, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's because we have this resistance to facing what is right in front of us, what we see, what's happening in real time. The psyche, the ego is all about survival. It just wants to survive. So when we are in a situation where something is inconsistent with what we've been taught, what we've been programmed to believe, what we can handle, what we've created within our pseudo-reality, it becomes a challenge for us to accept. We don't know how to accept it. We haven't been taught that most of our programming, most of what we've learned is not true. That the ego creates a reality that's inconsistent with what is in order to survive, in order to cope, in order to live in this world. So many of us choose not to face, not to accept what is. I'll give you an example from my life, my personal experience. I was in love with this girl. 2014, I remember the year. 2014, I met her October 4th, 2014. And boy, I loved her. Beautiful singer-songwriter. And we would spend so much time together. I'd go to her concerts, sit right there in the front. She'd have a seat with me by her side. I thought she felt the same way. I couldn't see that she was really not into me. But my best friend, who was on the outside looking in, she could see it. And she would tell me, Tyffany, she's not into you. She doesn't feel the same way that you do. And this particular girl would say things to me. She would say, "You're not even an option." When I said, "You're my heir," she wouldn't respond. I couldn't hear any of that, right? I was living in a different reality. My ego didn't want to be crushed. My ego didn't want to accept that this person who I loved didn't love me. So the truth of that situation could not penetrate what I wanted to believe. I didn't want to face the bad, the ugly. So I continued to believe what I wanted to believe. I just couldn't hear it. So it created suffering when we don't face, when we don't accept what is. in our life, it creates suffering. You see, the Buddha taught that desire causes suffering, and that we create our own suffering because we desire. Well, I believe that it's not desire that causes the suffering. What causes the suffering is when that desire is not met, not satisfied. So I desired to partner with this girl, to couple with this girl. I loved her, but that wasn't her desire. So her not wanting me caused the suffering, and me not accepting that she didn't want me. Me not seeing the truth of what is. That we were not in alignment. That she was not for me. Caused the suffering. I caused my own suffering by not facing reality. Not facing what is. Not facing the truth of the situation, not facing the bad and the ugly, not facing the good, because the good was that she was in my life. We could be friends, but we couldn't be more than friends. I couldn't accept that relationships, that people are not meant to be held on to be possessed. People, relationships are meant to be enjoyed, which is my next video. I didn't realize that until I had progressed more on my spiritual path. See, we have to learn to accept the good, the bad, and the ugly. When things are going well, accept that. Don't become attached to it. See it for what it is. Temporary, a fleeting moment. Enjoy it. When things are going bad and ugly, see it for what it is. Bad and ugly, also good, are perspectives. But that's what we do as humans. We have this dualistic reality, good and bad, right and wrong, up and down. However we describe the situation, the experience, see it for what it is. It's happening now in this moment. This is what I'm feeling in the body about it. It's fleeting, it's temporary, it won't last. I can experience it again if I'm open. Enjoy it now, but don't hold on to it. Learn to accept it for what it is. Learn to accept situations for what they are. You know, I read an article that I posted and shared on my Facebook page about these states, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Idaho, where governors are wanting to bury history of slavery, the history of systemic racism, because they can't deal with what is. You see, they are in conflict. That love-fear conflict. They do not want to face that their ancestors, that they themselves still continue this fear of the black man, that they themselves still continue benefiting from devaluing, dehumanizing other people that don't look like them, talk differently from them, have a different culture than they do, because they can't face the part that they're playing in harming other people, in pressing their knee in the necks of other people. They can't face it. They can't face their own darkness. So their defense mechanism, like all people, the pain, we want to push it away. It's not my reality. I don't see it. No, I don't see it. So we want to push it away because it hurts. It doesn't feel good. When we've endorsed, when we've participated in harming another human being, in benefiting from devaluing another human being, we don't want to face it. We don't want to accept the good, the bad, the ugly of the part that we play. So they want to create a law to ban history in schools, books, and colleges. They don't want to face what is. Perfect example. We all do this in our lives. But we have to accept and face what is, because it's causing suffering. You see, these governors, like all people, we have desire. Their desire is to feel good, to feel like righteous, moral, pure, good human beings. We all have these images of ourselves. And then the world, interactions with other people, shows us that, that image we have of ourselves is not real. And people see us in a different way. We're not conscious of our darkness until we interact with other people and they point it out. Oh, see, we either want to move towards something that feels good or move away from something that feels not so good to us. And this world bringing up all these things that we've buried and suppressed and denied, that don't feel good to us, that show us our dark side. So we choose to look away, or we choose, if we have position, a politician, position of power or money, we choose to ban it. We don't want to hear about it anymore, rather than face it. If we can't face the good, the bad, and the ugly, then we're suffering. We're creating, supporting, promoting delusion. We're holding up and many illusions. We are identifying with something we're not. By choice, whether it's unconscious or conscious, it's a choice. We will continue to suffer as human beings if we cannot accept what is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's part of spiritual growth. That's part of evolution, evolving and expanding. That's part of me becoming mature human beings. Accepting the good, the bad, and the ugly. We can do something about it. But you have to make the choice to do something about it, rather than continue to run from it. To rationalize it, project it. Accept what is, the good, the bad, the ugly. Thank you, Love Posse. If this content was meaningful or helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please check out my shop on my website at tiffanyhoward.com. Also check out my books, my tapping books, Tap That Too, Healing the Death Trauma, and my children's book, Tap Tap Tracy's Hair, God Made It Special. Also follow me on Facebook. Please leave comments. I respond to comments. Again, thank you for your time. I love you. The divine loves you. You are loved. Namaste. Namaste.